Greetings, this is my first video in 2025. Today's topic is setting up a local Kubernetes development environment. The operative word being local, meaning that we are going to install the development environment on our laptops and not on servers or in the cloud. There are many flavors of Kubernetes. So which one do we use? I have three candidates. The first one is OpenShift Local, which is from Red Hat. It is a VM-based single-node OpenShift cluster. Next, we have the tool Yacko. You can use it to build a single or multi-node OpenShift cluster. And the third one is K3D, a lightweight wrapper to run K3s in Docker to build a single or multi-node cluster. Let's look at the pros and cons of these three candidates. Both OpenShift Local and Yacko requires a subscription. Yacko itself does not require subscription. It's when you install OpenShift, it requires a subscription, either a OpenShift subscription or a developer's subscription, but you don't require that using K3D. You can see that there are two choices. Two choices are based on OpenShift. The reason being that it is feature-rich out of the box, which includes an image registry, ingress using routes via HA proxy, operator support, web-based console, and so on. For K3D, you can almost achieve exactly the same features by doing more work, install those features yourself. The limitation of OpenShift Local is that it's a single node only, but for the others, you can create either single or multi-node clusters. The ease of installation is very important, right? For using K3D is extremely easy. You can see in a demo later. And for Yacko and OpenShift Local is not that bad. It's medium. I think like to build a multi-node OpenShift, Yacko is probably the easiest tool to use to do that. Now let's look at the time to install. OpenShift Local requires maybe 20 plus minutes because it have to download like 4.6 gig VM. Same for Yacko, it have to download the Core OS and OpenShift, etc. So it's going to take 50 plus minutes. For K3D, this is less than 2 minutes. Start time after stopping, OpenShift Local around like 5 minutes or more. For multi-node OpenShift using Yacko, maybe 10 minutes. But for K3D is under a minute. CPU usage. So for OpenShift Local is medium. For Yacko, I'd try to be careful. I created a 3 master OpenShift cluster, thinking that, well, by just using masters, I get HA and I can deploy applications on the master themselves. But it was a mistake because it uses almost like 40% of a 20 CPU machine. For container-based K3D is CPU consumption is really slow on even like 8 CPU machine. It uses less than 10%. The deal breaker for me is for OpenShift Local and Yacko based OpenShift is the 90-day certificate expiration. So you need to renew the certificates. Sometimes you may have to approve 100 plus outstanding CSRs or certificate signing requests manually. It takes time, and sometimes it doesn't work. But for K3D, container-based K3S, like the self-signed certificate is good for 10 years, so you don't have to worry about it. Here's the test configuration. For both OpenShift Local and Yackel, I run it on 13 Gen Intel CPU, i9 13900H. For K3D, I just run it on old i5 8259U with 8 CPUs and 32 GB RAM. And the OpenShift versions I use are 4.15.10 for OpenShift Local and 4.15.17 for Yackel. K3D, which is latest, I think, 5.8.1, and the K3S version is 1.31.4. My suggestions, like looking at all the pros and cons. If you're okay with reviewing certificates and a single node K8S or the, Kubernetes, OpenShift Local may be your best bet, as it is more feature rich out of the box than K3D. If you are like me, who wants to experiment and don't mind some extra work to set up your K3D cluster, you will get almost the same features of OpenShift Local, but running on multi-node instead of single node, and have a more efficient cluster due to use of containers instead of VMs to run your cluster. So what I'm going to do next is to show you how to install a multi-node K3D cluster. Now I'm going to install a K3D cluster consisting of one master and 3 agents, or workers in OpenShift terms. I created a couple of scripts to help the installation process painless. The first one is install prerequisites.sh. This script checks on your machine whether you have all the dependencies installed. The dependencies include Docker, K3D, Helm, and kubectl. Let me just run it. You see that it found that I have all these dependencies installed, so it just prints out the version number and terminates. If any one of these dependencies is missing, then the script will install it for you. The next script is create devcluster.sh. What it does is it will create a cluster consisting of one master and 3 workers, together with an image registry and the ingress nginx for ingress. So it requires 2 parameters. The first one is the name you're going to give your cluster. Let me call it dev2. And the second parameter is your host IP address. So what it does is it will add this IP address or associate this IP address to your API server's generated HTTPS certificate. That means you can use this particular IP address to access your services. Now let me run it, and also the time, how long it's going to take. Now it's going. I'll just leave it running to completion. Now it's installing the Ingress Nginx. Now it's finished in under a minute. Let's have a look at the ports running. Oh, I'm lazy, so I created an alias called AC, which is associated with the kubectl command. So I just can type kc get port -8. So the Nginx ingress controller is still starting up. In the meantime, just execute another command, kc get nodes. So you see there are 1 master and 3 agents. This is how you build a K3D cluster. Tune in next time to see how I deploy a Spring Boot application and a Mysql database initialized with a schema using the configmap and deployment objects using a Helm chart. Here is a preview. That was the preview. Until next time, take care.